Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And no Jeff with us this week. Unfortunately, and there might not be for a few episodes here. Unfortunately, Jeff had a really rough day snowboarding on Saturday.
Yes.
And super broke his leg. So no Jeff. However, Gray Fox is still here as our sponsors.
So that's what's important.
So that's really what we care about.
Yeah.
You know, Jeff will get better. Gray Fox is still by our side.
Jeff's will come and go, but Gray Fox is here to stay.
Yes. Fortunately, we do also have a good friend group here in town. You've heard them on the episode multiple times. And so jumping on this week, returning guest of the show, the hater himself, Andrew.
Screw you. How's it going, guys?
Thanks for joining us on short notice to fill in here for the Hefe.
Absolutely. It's big shoes to fill, but...
Bigger hair to fill.
Yeah, there was a time in my life when I could compete with his hair, but not anymore.
Years ago.
Literally more than a decade.
Yeah. If only his luscious locks could have cushioned his fall.
Oh.
I really hope he listens to these episodes when he's not here, so that he's not on for, so you can just hear us making fun of him all the time.
I wouldn't.
I'm not going to bet on it.
No, I would not bet on that.
Has he ever listened to an episode?
No, he's never.
Oh.
Yeah. If he has kept it close to the vest, so to speak. So, but yeah, so feel free to message him on Slack or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and wish him the best and a speedy recovery.
But not too speedy, Jeff. I want to guest host on a couple more episodes.
Fair point. But let other people have a chance in the limelight,
Seriously.
Jeff. Jeez, quit hogging it all.
Jerk.
Jeez.
He deserved it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I didn't mean that. He's a great guy.
But yeah, so we're gonna rotate some guests for an episode or two here. Maybe a little longer. We'll see.
Yep.
Depends on how soon he feels he can hobble down my half set of stairs on his crutches.
And more importantly, hobble up your unshoveled driveway.
You know, but it's gonna be gone in like 3 days anyway. It's
It's a hazard, dude.
Yeah.
Take care of that.
It actually, Megan and I were having that conversation the other day. Like our old place, was better about which direction it faced, and so shit would just melt like real fast and never had to worry about it. We don't even own a snow shovel,
Right.
and it's like I think we need to buy a shovel.
Yeah, you're north facing now.
And we need to get some salt. Well, and that one actually faces northeast, so it should catch more. It would catch morning light.
Mm-hmm.
If it weren't for the big fucking trees in our yard.
I think it was Thursday that the storm hit early in the morning. Like it was, looked out the window 1 minute and it was perfectly clear. The next minute it was like, holy shit, where did all of this come from? I had just bought a new bag of salt. I'm fairly new homeowner, a couple years now, and I do all my shoveling, but I didn't do salt. All right, I got a couple minutes before I go to work. Let me just salt the sidewalk. And when I got home that night, everything else had like an inch and a half of snow, and the sidewalk was perfectly clear. And like, oh, that's beautiful. It was real good.
That feels nice.
Yeah.
I think somewhere in the huge mess that is still our garage/storage closet, there is a big bag of rock salt that I need to dig out and just like scatter.
But then how can you make ice cream if you don't have that?
You know,
Rock salted caramel.
there's other ways, I guess. I don't know. I don't think Megan uses rock salt. She uses regular salt when she makes her ice cream. I don't know.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been your weather report from Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, still snowy, still icy, still cold.
It's supposed to snow tonight to tomorrow. So
Yeah. The mountains have been getting a bunch of snow lately, which is why Jeff was up there.
yeah.
But still,
They lured him.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to snowboard for a bit, and then we're going to game night.
Nope.
We just got a message. It's just like, well, not going to the anniversary.
Like 12 hours of gaming.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was super looking forward to that. We all were, but
Now he's looking forward to 9 weeks of crutches and then 6 to 9 months of total recovery time.
Yeah. Real bad break.
It's like I broke my arm when I was a kid, and I had 3 It was like a bad break. It was a compound fracture, which I actually found out what compound meant. I always thought that meant just because I broke both arms of my bone. I thought it's compound, as in multiple breaks.
You broke both arms in your bone?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm keeping it. Okay. But no, I broke both the bones in my left arm, and I thought that's what compound fracture meant. But no, it's when it actually pierces the skin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which his didn't, so it was just internal.
That's probably better.
Yes.
Oh, it's much better. Compound fractures are real bad.
Yeah. I guess I lucked out because my dad instantly pushed it back in.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's probably a good move.
Yeah. But I was like, now I actually know what that means.
Yeah.
I broke my collarbone in high school, and I broke a bone in my hand in the Navy. Those have been my only 2 breaks. Those both sucked because those are both things that they can't actually cast.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, for the collarbone, they have like this like strap thing that like just pulls your shoulders back.
Yeah.
It kind of vaguely realigns them. And they're like, yeah, just wear that. It'll fuse back together and be fine. And then for the hand, they were like, here's some like aluminum like supports and some Coban. Like just wrap it up and let it heal.
Yeah, hope for the best.
The only bone I've ever broken was my jaw when I got mugged.
Ooh.
And yeah. I don't know if you've ever
I
noticed.
don't think I've heard that story.
No.
I only have three teeth down here.
I had also not noticed that.
Yeah.
Yep. I got mugged once. It's been 15 years.
Was it
something
Detroit
like
or
that.
St. Louis?
Chicago?
Ha! Suck it, Chicago.
Yeah.
I just know that I associate you with both Detroit and St. Louis.
Right, sure. I actually lived in Chicago 10 years.
Yeah.
But,
I was going to be like, it had to be one of those reasons.
yeah. The most annoying thing, I had my arms full of stuff that I was taking over to a friend's place. Didn't take any of it. They didn't take anything from me. It was just for the violence of it.
Oh.
That sucks.
Sometimes
That
high
sucks.
school kids really suck.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that lovely note,
Mm-hmm.
All right.
get better, Jeff.
Yes.
Yeah, heal fast. Broken bones do suck.
Yes, they do.
Cool. Now that we've done that,
Uh-huh.
have you guys played anything that's not board games for our normal like kind of video game segment that has apparently become like a thing?
I know you've been doing, you tried out the demo for Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
And then before this started, you went and bought it.
Yes, I just went and bought it.
Is it downloading right now?
Oh, God, I hope so. I'm actually now worried that I walked away too quick before it got to that next screen where I hit install.
Yeah, it's just like confirm for install, and it's just flashing.
But yeah, I did the 1 hour demo of it. They had on Steam. They did like it was a hard 1 hour demo of Resident Evil 2, and I've always lamented like two of my like earliest games that I really remember really getting into and really caring about were the Resident Evil series. I remember being terrified of those as a kid, but like so enthralled and like how good they were. Like I still credit the original Resident Evil with my love of the Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven because like there's a part of that game where like one of the puzzles is to play a couple keys on the piano and then it like breaks into the whole song up above you as like a door opens or something. And I remember like as a kid being blown away the first time I heard Moonlight Sonata during that game. But so I played the demo, they had it for free, and it was like, oh wow, I should not have done that because good God, I now really, really want to actually pick it up.
So this is going to be a short episode, everybody, so that Adrian, once it finishes installing, Adrian can go play.
Yes,
Yeah, probably.
and it's nice and dark, and Megan's working, and so it's going to be the right atmosphere for playing a creepy original zombie horror. I mean, that's another one. That's where my love of zombies comes from. It all goes back to Resident Evil. And I played it for a couple years and then fell out of it, and have just been disappointed. Like when I saw a lot of the newer ones, they never grabbed me quite the same. And so it was really nice getting to kind of go back and play that, like the puzzles, the zombies, the horror, just so good.
Yeah.
And so I'm really looking forward to that. And then Megan and I continue to play a shit ton of 7 Days to Die. They just recently released Alpha 17, which is their biggest, latest update that changed a bunch of shit. And we've been really enjoying that. And then I'm already looking forward to, in 3 days from day of recording, so roughly the time this episode drops, actually, the 30th, the expansion for Subnautica goes into early access.
Ooh.
And I'm also very excited about that because I fucking love Subnautica.
So he has a week to beat Resident Evil 2.
That was exactly what I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll pick it up in early access. Like they even said on their post announcing it, they're like, it's still buggy, it's still broken as shit. We're not doing this to get money from you. We're doing this because we really want your feedback to make it the game it can be. And I know, like I was lucky I jumped into Subnautica before it went to stable, but also like after they'd done a shit ton of development. So I might wait a little while. I still have Red Dead. I'll have Resident Evil. I've got a lot to hold me over, so I might let Subnautica ride a bit. Let them get some more updates under their belt before I jump in on that early access.
So 3 weeks to beat Resident Evil.
Correct.
Okay.
Luckily, I don't think it should take that long.
It's actually an 80-hour open world RPG.
I don't think that's true.
Big changes coming to Resident Evil.
Yeah.
My memories as a child are often fuzzy. Like, from being like a really little kid, for the longest time, I thought a boxer was the size of a horse because my grandparents had boxers and I was like a toddler and they just seemed huge. So maybe it is. Maybe it's an 80-hour open world RPG.
No,
full of zombies.
it's just all games have been taking from The Witcher and just making it like it was Assassin's Creed. So yeah. Now it's Resident Evil's turn.
I did try the remastered edition of the first Resident Evil. They did not remaster it enough. Unfortunately, all of the pains of old controller schemes and bad design still bled through on that one.
Old design, some would say.
We've had 20 years to
Quality of
refine
life.
this stuff. Yeah.
Which that remastered one was released, I think, back in like 2004.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
well,
even
okay.
that was still remastered almost 15 years ago.
Okay.
But Resident Evil 2, on the other hand, they redid all the graphics. They redid the camera angles because that's what I remember hating the most about.
The static camera or whatever it was. Yeah.
So now they have like a better over-the-shoulder camera or something like that. And yeah, I'm getting excited for it. What about you guys? Any video games that you care about?
Andrew?
I have been playing an awful lot of cribbage on my phone.
Nice.
That's as close to video games as I get. So no. Unless you want me to explain the hand I sent to Zach a while ago. It was a real difficult decision.
It was.
For you cribbage lovers here, we've got the cribbage minute.
Yes.
I like it.
I had I believe it was a 6999 or it was a 6669.
No, you had no. If it was 66, no, I believe it was 3 9s, a 6 and 2 5s.
And the crucial thing is 3 9s, a 6 and 2 5s, and it was the opponent's crib, and I had to give my opponent 2 5s, and Jesus, that was scary. It wound up working out. His crib was a total of 4, but boy, that could have been real damn bad.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but he made the right.
Been.
He made the right decision.
It was the right decision, but yeah, it was scary. But anyway, that was your cribbage minute. Probably actually a minute, unlike the bloody minute
or less.
less.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I've been playing.
The only one I've been playing, and we can use it to transition. We can use it to transition into what we've actually been playing board game wise.
Okay. I like good transitions.
I'm sure you do. I don't know why you don't do them then, but
that was some nice side eye that Adrian just gave to Zach right there.
Oh, he's good. He's good at doing that. I'll tell you that.
I can't wait till we get on video so the viewers / listeners can capture all of the side eye I throw at Zach.
But the sequel to Gone Sean Clever just came out on the app. So it's Doppelt So Clever. So Double So Clever just came out. And it is a lot harder to game than Gone's was.
Is it do you have to be twice as clever to beat it?
There's
no beating it.
But. No. So obviously
to understand it.
Yeah, when Gone's first came out, I didn't look at the rules also because when that came out on the app, the rules were just in German, so I wouldn't have even known.
Don't you speak German?
No, I do not, unfortunately.
I learn something new every day.
Yeah. So learning the game while playing from an app, because that's the nice thing is that the app knows how to play, so I can play it and interact with okay, why can I select this die but not this die?
Right.
And learn. So that's what I did on this one. Is I'm sure the rules are in English, but I don't care. I want to learn through the game like I did last time. And there are a lot of different weird things on this one. It's not just so it's still 5 different sections of dice, but it is a lot different in terms of how they interact with each other, because you still have the blue ones of the blue and the white added together, but instead of you trying to hit each of the 11 numbers, this one is you have a bunch of spaces and everything. From the first number on, it has to be less than or equal to the number before it.
Oh, and it never resets.
It never resets.
Oh, crap.
So you could choose, hey, I'm going to do 5 because that's the only thing available. But everything you do from then on has to be 5 or less, or else you can't add anything.
5 or more?
No, 5 or less.
Oh, so you have to start at the top.
Yeah, you
down.
start at the top and go down. In the green, which is it's a light green now. It has this. You have a number, you have 2 numbers that you put, and then you subtract them. But so it's like the first number will have a 2 times on it, and then the next one will have like a 1 times, and then you subtract the 2, and that's what your point value for that will be. So it's like a 12. So you do a 6. So, 6 times 2 is 12, and then you do a 2. The 2 times 1 is 2, so you subtract them, it's 10 points.
Okay.
So that's worth 10, and it's different sections of that.
Oh, so you have a bunch of sections of 2.
Yes.
Okay.
But obviously, you have to go from left to right. So you have to get a big number and then a small number. But if you fuck up and you go, like, say you do 2, so 2 times 2 is 4, and then you choose a 6 times 1, so it's 6 minus 2. Now you've subtracted 2 from your score.
If
I'm already lost.
No, it's
If you have an odd number, is it minus 0 for the last, or does it not count at all? You have to complete the 2.
If you only have the first number and not the second one, it doesn't complete.
You have to complete the pair in order for it to score. Okay.
Yeah. Then there's like this pink one that's just like, oh, you can have some numbers, but then they count up and then they count down. But you can, so it's like, oh, you have to have greater than equal than 5 or whatever. You can put something lower than that on there, but the bonus won't activate unless you fulfill its condition.
Oh, okay.
So you can always put something there.
So it's like orange, but you only get the bonus. Okay.
Exactly. And then there's yellow, which has sort of a matching thing that it had on its previous one, except the first time you hit a number, so say you do the 6, you circle it. Then the next time you hit a 6, you can mark an X on it. And that's the only way it actually scores. Is
you have to do it twice?
You have to hit each number. You have to hit numbers twice, but then you get like, if you X 4 numbers, it's like 36 points or whatever. So it's big. But then the most complicated one is gray, which is when you select the gray. So the gray thing has 24 numbers on it, 1 to 4 or 1 to 6 of the 4 different colors that aren't gray and white.
Okay.
And say the numbers are like you have a 1 blue and then a 2 green and then a 3 gray. You can choose the 3 gray, in which case you get to mark a 3 of whatever color you want, and then you also mark the 2 green and the 1 blue.
Oh, so anything below it?
Because technically it's not gray, it's silver. So anything you put into the silver tray by choosing it, you mark off on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then for every this is the one that I had. It took me a long time to figure. It was the one that took me the longest time to figure out
But you still didn't go to the rules.
No, I didn't go. I did go to the rules on one thing, and that's how that one scores. Because it had like 1 point. It said 1 is worth like 2, 2 is worth 5 or whatever, and then it goes all the way up to 6 is 22 points. But I didn't know what that meant by 6 because how it had it set, it had it underneath each value. So because like I said, all the 1s and 2s and 3s, I thought it was like vertical, but it was horizontal instead. So however many, so say for yellow, you mark 4 of them off, you get however many 4 for that. And then for blue, you mark 1, green, you end up marking 2, and then like pink, you don't mark any. You would get points based off those. And then you get bonuses for the top and bottom too. So
is that, all right, real important question.
Yeah.
Is it in the same app or do I have to buy a different app?
You would have to buy a different app.
Okay.
It's $3, I think, for it. Technically, if in the game or in the Gons app, it has the box, and you can go click it, and it's like, here, download it here, and then it'll bring you to the store to download it, and then
But it doesn't give you a discount for having bought the other one or anything.
No, but then you can link your account to both of them, so it's like I know
I don't have an app or an account on it, so yeah.
Well, technically, it's like, hey, you can make an account now, and then you can link it to both. That's what I ended up doing. And then you can get extra bonuses if you like unlock all of the rerolls or all of the +1s. And then also there is a new different power, which is
it's the unlock symbol? Yeah.
So what it is anything you have on the silver tray, you at a 1-to-1 ratio, you can choose to put it back into the pool of available dice. So you can choose a higher number and then spend 1 or 2 to throw some of the ones you know.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah.
So it gives you another thing to be like, hey, I really need this high number, but I have these unlocks or whatever you want to call them, so I can choose a higher one and then get some stuff back in there. Obviously, anything you use, you can't unlock that one, but anything that was underneath.
So it's been out almost a week now, and you've probably played it at least 75 times.
Something like that, yeah.
Which one do you like better? Do you like this better than the original?
It is a lot harder to crack, that's for sure. Because you need a lot of things to go right. I can tell you the best. I can tell you what every space you need to hit for Gons. Obviously, like there's better ways to get them in certain times. But this one, fuck if I know. There are so many different things you can do on this one, and there's so many bonuses that are triggering off of things that I'm still trying to figure. I've gotten almost 300 on it, which is nice.
Do you know what the current high score is?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that.
Last time I checked, it was like there was one that was like 394.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because there's a lot more chance for points in this one because of Gray, but. Trying to figure out the right time to do Gray, it's tricky right now. I would not want to teach this to anybody in an actual game. Like,
oh sure,
like I'm super glad this exists as an app. I wouldn't want to get a physical copy of it because fuck trying to explain all this.
Right. Have we played the physical game since the review?
No,
I have not. No.
Yeah,
no, I still like it best as a solo just because it's all about just trying to get the best score.
Right,
so.
and the app just eliminates so much of the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Anyway,
so speaking of apps, real quick.
Yeah,
I've also been playing Race for the Galaxy app lately. If you are in the Slack channel, message me and I'll send you my friend code for it. But I've been playing it with Paul. We're currently 50-50, one win each. Although our third game is already tilted heavily in Paul's favor, so he's about to take a 2-1 lead. And
you should have quit at 1.
I should have quit undefeated, especially because that one was great because I beat him by 1 point and he was a little salty about it. Whereas he just housed me in our second game. I mean, it was like 36-20. It was bad.
And he's about to do it again?
No, not that bad, but he's about to win. Yeah,
okay.
I think he's going to win. So, yeah. I feel like Paul probably knows more about actual in-depth strategy for race, whereas I kind of play on a wing and a prayer.
Yeah.
Which still nets me pretty good. Like, I still do pretty good most of the time I play race. But.
Hey, Alex, our French listener, that is a wing and a prayer right there. He was confused about that very idiom a couple weeks ago on the Slack channel.
Somebody else, there were like multiple people that were a little confused about wing and a prayer.
Yeah, I wound up looking into it, and like it's from World War II. It started as a song, and then it became a movie, and now it's just
because it's like
idiom.
somebody flying their bomber or fighter back.
Yeah,
and
it's
they only have
damaged.
one wing and a prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or can we get home on a wing and a prayer? Yep.
There we go.
There you go.
Idiom of the day.
That's for you, Alex.
But let's transition to what we've actually been playing on a table with real board games.
Do people
Physical
do that
games.
anymore?
They do.
Weirdly.
Weirdly enough. In fact, we just had a bunch of people do that for 12 fucking hours.
Yeah, that was
this
pretty
past
great.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So let's start with you, Andrew, guest filling in. What have you been playing recently?
Oh boy, so I'm not going to go to the big anniversary party of the weekend right now, but last Wednesday, you and I and Zach, the three of us and Paul played Gugong. It would be called Forbidden Palace, but there was already a game called Forbidden Palace.
Gotcha.
It was a game.
Yeah, fairly new game from TMG.
Yes.
Paul got the deluxeified
Yes,
Kickstarter with all the fancy bits and pieces.
And fancy they were. It was
Yes.
very nice. It was, I don't know. Go into gameplay
I'll go
first?
ahead and-
Yes, please.
I'll just throw in real brief. In my opinion, it was the single worst play I've had since Rising Sun of any game.
Yeah, that's a low or a high bar to clear, I guess.
Yeah.
Or a low bar to get under.
Low bar to get under. We'll put it that way. You got to really work on your limbo.
Yeah.
It was not a very enjoyable play. I'm not willing to blame it all on the game yet, but
We'll give it another chance.
Yeah.
My play of it was like my experience of it was better than that. But I don't know. I got super lost in it. I think you and I both fell behind Paul and Zach real quick, especially in the number of actions we could take. And like, I think I got 18 actions that I could take in the entire game, and Paul got like 25, and that's a massive difference.
Yeah, especially in this game.
Yeah, and I didn't realize fast enough how big of a difference it was, and what I needed to do to correct that difference. And so I was never able to come back.
Yeah, luckily for me, I did it half a turn after him because you have 4 cards, so that's 4 actions a turn. So that's 16 because there are 4 rounds. But if there are ways to get extra cards, which gives you more actions per turn.
Yeah.
And he got like his 5th one, and that made me realize it was like, oh, these card things are important because it gives you more actions, and I was able to self-correct on the same turn that I noticed that. So where it actually
you were already working towards like
I was working towards other things, but I was able to
switch
divert from that to that. So
the one thing that I think worked really well for Paul is a couple of those extra actions he got were situations where he got to take a card from his like discard pile to play again, which is nice because you got to choose. So like he could see what was out on the board and be like, there's a lot of high numbers right now. I'll take a high number, or like, oh, there's a bunch of low numbers, so I can take something that's more in the middle that actually has a bonus action on it.
And like cards of certain values are worth more at the end of a round, so like he could choose, I want to have this card in my discard pile and I don't need that card in my discard pile. So yeah, that was super valuable. You stayed close with him, but not.
I was one worker away from getting like 10 more points.
Oh, really?
Or 8 more points. Yeah, but both of us knew because it was an end game thing on like 2 extra points per river worker or whatever those things were called. And both of us knew whoever got there first meant the other person would not have enough time to get another worker to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And he was able to get there first. So he ended up with like 48 points or 49 points, I think. And I was like at 30, 35. Okay. So I would have been able to jump to closer to him.
And he wouldn't have gotten as many points as he did.
But it was like he was able to get there first before me, so there wasn't much.
And you came in, that was a big gap between first and second, and Adrian and I were significantly below you, too. So it was...
Yeah. When I say it was my worst play since Rising Sun, I mean both in terms of enjoyment of the play itself and my overall performance in the play.
Yeah. No, he did quite bad. Because the main action of this game
let's describe the game.
Is playing a card, and you're basically replacing a card. It's bartering more or less because that's what it had. Like money was outlawed.
Bartering through corruption or something like that. Yeah.
And so if there was a card that was a 4, you would have to play a card that was, if you played a card that was 5 or higher, you could then take that card and then do the action of wherever it is.
And do the action on the card.
And do on the action on the card.
So it's a double action thing.
Yeah, and if you, so say it was an 8 and you only had a 6 in your hand, you could do an action by playing a card, like by playing that card, but you either had to pay workers into a pool, or you had to get rid of another card, or you would just take a card and not do an action.
Right.
Which happened to Adrian multiple times.
So of those like 17, 18 actions that you got, because eventually you got an extra card, so it was more than 16.
Yeah,
but a few of them were wasted.
I probably only took 14 actions the whole game.
Yeah,
even getting bonus ones late. Like I wasted so many actions.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things I didn't like about the game. Like depending on player position, you start with a set number of cards, but the cards that go out on the board are randomized.
It's not a set number. Well, it's
a specific set of cards.
Well, in the ones that go on the board, they're always the same. It's just randomized on where they are.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I thought they came off the top of the deck.
No, the only thing
that alleviates that issue. Because I was like, how the hell can they balance by giving me the same cards every time when it's random cards coming out on the board?
No.
But even that could still really fuck you, because if like the ones that you have in your starting hand that can play over something, if those aren't adjacent to things that are useful, that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really care for that mechanic.
Whereas I know both Paul and I really liked that, but it seems like we were also able to take advantage of it, where it hurt you multiple times.
And Adrian and I were second and third. So like first player has an inherent advantage in like,
everything's wide open, especially
wide open.
That like where the end game scoring tiles. I don't remember what that section was called, but like basically to put a guy there, you pay the number that's associated with a space, and there's 2 3s, 2 2s, 2 1s, plus 1 for every other person at that space already, and those rapidly become prohibitively expensive once other people beat you there. So as first player, you can get a leg up in that spot potentially.
True. Yeah, potentially. Now, like I was the first, even though I was the 4th player.
Yes,
I was the first person to do that, and Paul was like, "Damn it, you got there, Brett." And I was like, "You literally had the thing. If you wanted to get it,
I don't think any of us realized. Well, like maybe you and Paul did. Like I certainly didn't realize as like how powerful some of those were going to be.
Well, and even that, the one that I chose half of the rounds I wasn't able to use it because it required having a guy in the your pool.
Which is the other thing I don't understand how the fuck you guys you guys constantly had your whole pool of workers available, which I never did.
I don't know. I
think there are some really interesting mechanisms. I think there are some it's a very wide open decision space.
Yes.
But I don't know. It might. I'm not generally a stupid person, but it might be too many moving parts for me.
I mean, that's how I feel. There's a lot of really other complex games with a lot of options that I can keep track of and know what to focus on and where to move. And this one, I regularly felt lost for a good chunk of it. And granted, it didn't help that once I realized
you realized you were fucked up and
towards the end of the second turn, when I realized I was going to have to waste another one of my actions, I just checked out.
Yeah, and especially because both Paul and I weren't messing up, that there wasn't really a chance for you to.
Paul didn't make his classic critical error.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
He had 46 points.
46.
Andrew, you and I combined for 40.
Yeah.
Wow.
What was I at?
You had 25 points.
25. Okay.
So you barely beat Andrew.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It was that close?
Yeah. So it was first,
second
and third, and then last.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
I mean, I was even then I was at 16.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
So I wasn't that far even behind Zach. Yeah. Paul just fucking sprinted away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I will play it again, like you said. I'll give it another chance, but
it's also not a game too. So.
Right. That was a big problem. Yeah.
I would not play that again.
I think Paul was like, "Hey, Andrew, you want to play this game?" And you're like, "Yeah." And then I remember you sat down and you're like,
yeah. When it was suggested to me, it was like, "Oh, I've heard you guys talking about it on the podcast. It's a small I didn't think it was dexterity game, but I thought it was Hanabi level
gotcha.
excuse me.
I mean, I was under the
Allison
impression it was way quicker and lighter as well.
Sorry,
Hanabi, or Hanabe. No, Hanabi. Hanabi is the correct pronunciation.
Hanabi?
It's going to be Hanabi for forever.
Forever.
I just.
That's racist, Adrian.
That's what he is.
You got me.
Yeah. Our friend Allison, who is a regular at the game night,
speaks Japanese.
Speaks Japanese. She's trying to get a job as a Japanese translator, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, but
she's also on Mile High Dungeon Delvers.
Yeah.
Different Allison.
Different Allison. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mike Jones's friend Allison.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Allison.
I had a dream once where I was
like, these are all things I don't know about Allison.
Wow, that would be
Allison. Okay.
Different Allison.
But I had a dream once where I was applying for a job and they were like, "Hey, we actually want to talk to you about a different position because it says on your resume that you know Japanese." And I was like, because you took it in college.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? I did take it in college, but I got a Mercy C, super Mercy C on there. So
why'd you put it on your resume again?
When I woke up, I legitimately for a couple of minutes, I'm like, do I have Japanese on my resume?
Oh dear.
Yeah. But overall in the game, I liked it, but I can totally see it being a game that after a couple plays, I'd be like, I'm okay not play. I've gotten what I wanted out of that game.
Yeah.
There is some variability in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a decent amount of it.
There's actually a lot of variability,
but,
I would say.
A lot of it is sort of that small variability that Gallerist or some of those other things have. It's there's differences, but it's not super changing your strategy on so many things. So
I got to say, one of the things about it, there is the actual Forbidden Palace in the center of the board.
Mm-hmm.
You have to climb up 8 ranks. You have to do 8 actions that do that, pleasing the Emperor action in order to
finish the game.
To finish the game. If you don't have that complete by the end of the game, I don't care what the rest of your score is. You've lost. You're out.
I do like that.
I like that. I feel like I thought that was going to be much harder to do.
Yeah.
And so I sort of raced for it.
It's not that many points too between first and fifth is
7 to 2.
Yeah, 7 to 2, 5 points.
Yeah, and so I raced for it and I got the 7, but then and I got a few extra points because every time you do that action after you complete it, you get a point. But like I thought there was going to be a serious risk that people weren't going to complete it, and nobody was even close. Like there were a couple people that waited to the end.
I had to like basically focus on it for my last 2 turns.
Did you?
Like
Okay.
I was close to not making it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. But you did wind up. Everybody
I did
wind
make
up.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I wasn't expecting any of us to fail at that,
right.
but I did like. If it had been like 2 or 3 spaces, then it would have been like, well, what's the point of this? But 8 was enough to be like, you can't just sort of slack off because you can't be on your last turn and be like, oh, I'm just going to do this real quick.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
Yeah. Like Adrian said, you had to focus 2 whole turns basically on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of my last that last round was me working on that.
Yeah.
One thing I know I messed up on early where I thought they'd end up being worth way more points and it would be different is one of my first actions was to go spend 2 workers to get a jade.
A jade.
I did the same thing, yeah.
And jade ended up, everybody had about 2 by the end of the game.
I didn't have any, but
you didn't have any. Okay.
Yeah. I think Paul
I had 2.
I had 2.
And yeah, so
I think
it was
Paul
like,
had 1 maybe.
and
maybe he had 2.
it seems like they only really if your game strategy is around those.
if you do just Jade and the Emperor to like not lose the game, you might.
Well, I mean, I saw some other things that would get you more jade. Like there were times when I could have getting rid of a card, a bigger card to get a jade and stuff like that.
Yeah, so
like once you get 5, that's like 15 points.
Yeah,
you know that would, like you said, yours was 16, so you were 18.
18 points.
So that would have been almost your entire thing,
right?
And then none of us focused on it enough to make it worthwhile to focus on it a little bit.
It would be interesting. Yeah. It would be interesting to see somebody make that their whole game strategy and see if it works.
Man, it'd be so hard though.
Yeah.
You use so many
resources
for the main way to get jade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could kind of play games with the one like favor tracker over on the left. You could get first player.
Sure.
Because one of the things you could cash those in for was jade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were some things on the path that were like the discard a card of
like
7 or higher
exploring,
to get a jade.
Yeah, the exploring
so you
path.
could do
or the
some other
taxation
stuff,
path, I guess.
But also when you do things like that, like if you're doing that, you're spending an action to go to the writing area and then playing a card 7 or higher, taking that tile, playing a card 7 or higher to get a jade. So you're basically like spending an action to get 1 jade.
Yeah.
But instead of workers. And so you could spend it on the workers on the jade to be so it's you're not wrong. Like I said, I think
it would be hard.
It would be hard, yes.
Yeah.
So
but yeah. I don't know if it'd be a winning strategy, but I'd like to see somebody try it. But anyway, that was Gugong.
Someone that isn't you.
That's enough Gugong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody that's not me.
Yeah, so we might do a review of it. Paul has his copy, so we're gonna
we'll see how Jeff feels about it too, I think.
Once he plays.
But yeah.
Wait, I'm not replacing him? I can do a review of that too, guys.
Oh, well there we go. Sorry, Jeff, you're just fucked now.
Yeah.
Zach, what about you? What else have you played besides Gugong?
So I got to try out Wingspan finally. It was did it on Tuesday, so this was before Gugong, the day before. And it played, and it's I played at the anniversary Gizmos, which I think both of them I had heard. I remember when we were first talking about Wingspan, like off mic and stuff, like in one of our chats, that Jeff described it, like some people described it similar, the similarity between the two. And I can see it because honestly, like they're both like slightly more complicated versions of like Splendor in terms of like you're trying to get these things, but they're more combo-y and things like, and it's like tableau building and things like that. I enjoyed both. I enjoyed both of them. Wingspan was all about, you're getting birds, which one thing is cool is like all the birds are unique terms of like all the art is unique too. And it's very well done. They have bird facts on there, which,
bird facts.
Yeah. And then like, to build more birds, you have to on a specific row, you have to spend more and more eggs, and it's like one of the things you have to do is lay eggs, and so like eggs are worth points, so it's like doing a bunch of things where.
Sorry, did you say you're building birds out of eggs?
Yeah,
is that how that works?
Yeah,
in the loosest possible interpretation.
Yeah. I take an egg, I throw it on the wall, and then a bird pops out and then falls on the ground. But no, it's like to and there's different types of birds and they lay different nests and certain things. They're like, hey, you'll get more points if you have like these like cup ones versus ground versus like holes and stuff like that.
Sure.
And you can do one action and it's, you're trying to figure out what you want to do. This one it's round based and you start with like 8 actions, but then at the end of the first round, you take one of your cubes that denotes actions and you put it on the scoring track. So the next round you have 7 and then 6 and then 5. Okay. So as you're getting further along, you do less actions, but because your actions are based on how many birds you have, because so like for getting food, if like at the beginning of the game you just get one you get one resource, but near the end of the game you could get 2 or 3. So even though you have less actions, you're getting more per your action.
Okay.
And then birds can have different like activations. So when you activate a row, it's like, hey, you're going to get extra resources, or you can lay eggs or whatever it says on there. And so, like I said, it gets pretty combo-y.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it. We all had sort of different strategies, and we ended up similar to each other.
Point-wise.
Yeah. But I think I got 4th overall in that one. Which is funny because then I played Quacks with them and I destroyed them in that game. Like I lapped somebody in that.
Oh my god!
And Katie was the one that won Wingspan, and so when I lapped her in Quacks, I was like, "This was for Wingspan."
And they're both bird related, so yeah,
exactly.
You really gave her the bird.
Yeah, right.
Jesus,
that was bad. Sorry.
Jeff had the worst luck in that Quacks game. It was ridiculous. Anytime he always spoiled no matter what. I don't think there was one round where he didn't spoil, and there was one game where I got everything on the board in my pot except for the 3 white fungus things I needed that would have spoiled me, and I was just like, aha, my luck strikes again.
I feel very certain I am not going to like Quacks.
No, I told you I don't think you'd like it.
The more I hear about it, the more I'm just like, yeah, no, that game is so not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Maybe in your birdhouse.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah. But like the game I said, it was similar to it. Gizmos, it has that same sort of thing. This one, you're like building like different little machine things, and they're comboing off each other. It's based on like marble pooling. That you have this tray of like 6 marbles in front of you that you get to pick from there. But there's like a feeder that goes to it that you can grab random ones from there too. But you sort of see what's available. And then it's you're buying things, which lets you get better. It's the same sort of thing as that in Splendor, but more very combo-y, and I enjoyed that one too.
Yeah, somebody at the anniversary told me that Gizmos, they thought that it would be too different from Splendor for people who like Splendor, but not different enough for people who don't like Splendor.
Well, I like Splendor, and I like this one, so I don't know what to say.
Okay.
That random person is wrong.
Yeah.
But no, that's an interesting thought.
But then another game that Andrew and I played was Mechs versus Minions.
Yeah, we did.
We
crushed it.
Yeah, we did. We didn't have much table space at the anniversary.
Yeah, they're little folding tables, kind of narrow.
And it's a big game.
It's a big game, and usually, like, it has these tiles, which if they're like, if it was the square setup,
it would have been real.
It would have been rough. We wouldn't have been able to fit. But luckily, both the missions that we did were just straight lines.
Yeah.
And how do you think it went that time?
There were times early on in both of them, like, we're screwed. We're not gonna. We're totally out of luck on this one, and we'll have to try it again. And like, no, by the end, we were like, well, we wiped the floor with them.
Yeah.
I like it. I really like Mechs versus Minions. I did not get in on it when it was the new hotness, and so we've started this new campaign, and I really like it.
Yeah. The first one was about like wiping out minions while trying to get across the board and not let minions escape us. And my character, he has one of his special ability cards that I've kept is Flame Spitters shoot out the front and the back. So I had a level 3 Flame Splitter, which has this big column of fire in front of me. And then I got the special ability to let it shoot out the back too. And I had Omni Stomp, which lets me move to the right or left, because normally, it's always about moving forward, Adrian. But because I was able to move to the right, I was able to face the walls, and I would move up and then shoot fire out of in front of me, and basically it was anything that would like nothing was getting past me.
It was great.
I was basically from the back just killing sweeping anything that everybody missed. It was great.
Yeah.
And then the 5th mission was we were running away from a
Advancing
wall
lava.
of fire.
Yeah.
A wall of lava. Yes.
Yeah. While carrying a bomb that could be damaged by the minions.
Yes. And the wall.
And the lava. Yeah.
Did you win both?
Yes, we won both of them.
Yeah.
Like you said at the beginning, both times we were like, "How the fuck are we going to be able to do this?
This is impossible."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then at the end of both of them, we were like, "Yeah, this was easy."
It takes the best of Robo Rally and makes it better and makes it cooperative and it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. But now I think we're going to be fighting the boss again. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that was the one that really screwed us the last time. We'll see. The boss is the boss for a reason.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Background to me, I suppose. With Zach, I played a game of Brass Birmingham with our friends Porkchop and Jared, who I hadn't seen either one of them in, I don't know, forever.
Yeah, they've been gone.
Yeah. I was really surprised. Like, they came around and they're like, "Hey, Adrian, do you want to play Brass Birmingham with Zach and us?" And I was like, "Wait, what? What?" Yes.
And I told Adrian, I was like, to be fair, like Jared was like, "Hey, you don't play something a bit heavier?" And I was like, "Yeah, I could do," because I've been playing a lot. And he's like, "All right, great. We'll play Brass Birmingham." And then he walked off, and I was like, "What? Okay, I guess I could do that." And like you said, you were surprised, but then I was like, if I really didn't want to play it, I would have told him as soon as he offered.
Yeah.
But like I was telling you, like Brass and like Indonesia and some of the other ones are like, I can be talked into playing those.
Right.
Yeah, there's enough interactivity and other things going on.
And it depends on the people I'm playing with.
Right.
And I was like, I haven't played a heavy game with these two, and I have enjoyed playing games with them.
Yeah.
I will hopefully enjoy this.
Yes.
And enjoy it, I did.
Right.
At the expense of most other people.
Yes. So pleasant surprise for me. I had been like, yeah, I'll come play with you guys. Let me wrap up what I'm doing here. I was teaching like Terraforming Mars.
Yes.
And then I was walking around talking to people and like picking up glasses and stuff. And I set a bunch of glasses down on the bar. And I kind of did like hands on the hips, like breathe and look around, like survey my empire, see what needs doing. And I see the three of them sitting in the corner with the setup. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I told him I was going to play.
But luckily we had just finished setting up.
Yeah.
Like his board was the last one that needed to be set up. So he came over and then
Right.
we were like, oh, sweet, Adrian's here now. Let's start. And Adrian's like, oh, fuck, I forgot. And we're like, well, you forgot at the right time, apparently.
Yeah. But the pleasant surprise about the whole thing was once I sat down at that point, I was like, okay, well, so how much do you guys know about Brass? And they're like, oh, we've played this like 3 or 4 times. I was like, wait,
what?
I'm playing a game of Brass with people who have played Brass multiple times? I don't have to teach shit?
Yeah.
Wow. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So we were able to jump right in.
And they felt the same way, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can believe it.
No, we told them, it was like, and Portia was like, so you guys have played? It's like, we not only played it, we've also played the other one, and we reviewed both of them. So.
Yeah. So
Clearly they don't listen.
Oh, obviously.
But
jerks.
really nice to get to play a game with people who knew the game and were able to really dive into it.
So they were really able to utilize that AP that they got.
Overall, things were rough for me in the first era of the canal phase. I struggled a little bit. The main saving grace, and I made the comment right as we did canal phase scoring, and like so I was in third, but it was like first, second, third, and then like fourth. And I was like, oh, well, the only thing that makes me feel better about any of this is that I don't feel like I'm going to come in last. And I was really ribbing on Jared at the time because it was Jared who was in fourth. Like, I even got, like, Chinese food delivered, like, midway through the game, and my fortune cookie was something about, like, the coming difficulties are just merely a path to, something better or something. And I was trying to give it to Jared, and he wouldn't. I gave it to Zach and Porkchop. They both cracked up over it.
Yeah.
I quickly gave that up though because it went from like being a laughing like haha you're kind of struggling Jared to like Jared's like fucking done.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like to be in that position and get salty and then have people keep piling.
Yeah.
And so I let up on that, but I was able to really turn things around for myself in the rail phase. Unfortunately, not quite enough to catch Zach. He ended up winning the game.
I had some good moves in the beginning, and I was able to keep up with Adrian's bullshit at the end. Even with Jared letting you take some of those more prime spots near the end. It wasn't
like a 1 or 2 point difference.
No, it's like, oh, you just fucking let him have 5 points, and then then after the second, you're like, well, okay, if that wasn't, he would have taken a 4. So really, it's only 1 or 2. But I was like, fucking Jared, if Adrian wins by like 1 or 2 points, I'm coming for you.
Because his last turn, like he was so checked out. His last turn, he was like, for both of my actions, I'm just discarding a card and passing.
Yeah.
Like he took no action.
Near the end of the game, I had, I want to say 21 income, and Jared had 0 or 1.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
cow.
where he really ran into trouble. Is he was never able to really get his income going, so he had to keep taking loans that kept pushing him back.
And
And
there,
then,
after a couple turns of that, where it looked like there was definitely one time where we were collectively like, all right, Jared, there's a much better thing that you could literally be doing right now.
Yeah.
And then because he had an unsold
a good that he hadn't shipped.
yeah, it was cotton, and a good he hadn't shipped, and we're like. I was like, Jared, I gotta ask, why have you not shipped this good yet? Because he was hurting for money so much, and he was just. And I was like, you can use this beer because it was the Rails era, so there was a link to it. He's the only one that could have sold there, and it would have. And he was just like, oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was rough for poor Jared on that game. But,
If
I gave him like 1 or 2 rounds of like, when someone's bad, I don't want to be like, oh, do this. But. Once it got to the point, I was like, I feel like he's not seen this.
Yeah.
And it's almost annoying me that he hasn't seen this yet.
Yeah.
But I was definitely shitting on a lot of people in that game, which I feel like, one, like I said, it's a bunch of friends, especially, even though like we hadn't played with them for a while, it was friends. So that sort of brings that out of me. And also, but I feel it's also, if I feel you're a competent enough gamer,
right,
that I feel like you can take it. And so, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like a little over 2 hours, which was amazing.
At a game night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so that was Brass. I played there.
Can I just add real quick? My wife constantly gets pork chop's name wrong. She's like short ribs or like she just adds like other meat items.
Nice. Yeah, I forgot his story.
Oh
about
man,
why he
I
goes by
love
pork
hanging
chop.
out with roast beef.
And she's convinced that Mike Jones and his girlfriend Bullseye are a superhero couple.
Oh, I mean, they got a superhero name.
Yeah, Mike Jones and Bullseye. Yeah.
Bullseye and Mike Jones. She's the lead. He's the sidekick.
Yeah.
This was established at a game night. Not
Oh, was
too
it?
long
Okay.
ago. Yeah. Because I think he said that. He was like, yeah, Andrew's wife always says that we're like a superhero team.
Yeah.
And I think he said Mike Jones and Bullseye, and she went, ha, more like Bullseye and Mike Jones.
Yeah.
The other game I want to talk about from the anniversary, just real quick, because it was really nice to actually get it back. Gonna play it again. It had been a long time. I played Kalimala with the aforementioned Mike Jones and Andrew and Megan
Brandon.
And I hadn't played it in almost 2 years since I smoked Uli from ADC Blackfire, who was the original European publisher of Kalimala, along with Edward and a couple other Germans who all knew the game. And I came in and didn't know the game, and just like it clicked, I got it, and I smoked them.
That sounds like something that happened in this game, but not for you.
But not for me.
Because he already knew it. He couldn't do it again.
Yeah. I once again struggled. I've been having a run of bad luck at a couple games. I was struggling to really get a cohesive strategy going in this one. I had a good starting strategy that was good for like 2 rounds, and then I just floundered the rest of the game. Flopped around like a fish in the Mediterranean.
Because this is a trading in the Mediterranean game.
Correct.
I know all of you love that theme.
Enough of them do that I'm okay with it.
Yep.
So the cool thing that this one does is the action selection board is a 3x3 grid of actions, and the outer 8 of them are tiles that are randomly distributed every game, and then the center one is always a fixed action. And you play on the spaces between those points, so you're always activating 2 different abilities, one to the left and one to the right. And so when you place your disc on the action, you do both of the actions in either order. If you can't do one of the actions, you draw a card from the deck that is basically a random action that you can use on a subsequent turn, so you never get fucked out of actions in this game. Fucking Gugong.
Right.
You never get fucked out of actions.
Just weren't planning well enough. That's all it was.
Something like that. Which I really like. And then you could kind of stockpile certain actions from those cards to do a really powerful turn later when it benefits you. The other cool thing, though, is like, so once I do that disc on my turn, if Andrew comes around on his turn and does that same action, puts his disc on top of mine, he does the 2 actions, but then you go down the stack with everybody who's in that stack getting to do actions again.
Up to
3 players. And then if there's a 4th disc, that disc kicks out and jumps over to the scoring area, which does a round of scoring for whatever thing it goes on to. And that's also part of the game clock. If you ever do all 15 scoring things, you end the game. Or if everybody has all of their discs played, you end the game.
Right. I do think it's actually kind of interesting to compare it to Gugong in that it's worker placement to get you 2 actions. And, which worker you place on which action, or which worker you place in which space determines what actions you do.
Yeah.
But I think this one was better done. That it made more sense to me.
So we started, the rules say the youngest player's first player, which was going to be Megan by a decent margin.
5 years or something like that. Yeah.
And then like everybody was like, we'll use Chwazi. And Mike Jones won Chwazi, which meant Megan went from being first per the rules to last. And you could tell she was a little salty about it, especially because she was like, I don't see any benefit to not being first player in this game. Like,
and she has a point there.
Yeah, she's like, especially because like the way the first scoring thing was, like, and this particular setup of those actions, Mike Jones is able to do an action that's like turn one resource into something that can go on the track for what the first scoring thing is going to be.
Yeah.
And then you were next and you did the same thing, and then I was third and I did the same thing basically.
Which meant that I got to do it twice and Mike Jones got to do it 3 times.
Before Megan or Brandon even got a turn. However, she ended up, I think because she didn't focus on those first 2 so hard, she went around and did other things and got a better engine built up, which is where I struggled. Yep. And then she ended up just running away with it. I don't think I got the final score. I think I did. But she crushed.
I sent it to you, but it was like 47 to Brandon had like 36 to
47 to 32 to 20 to a 27 tie. And then 21 was Mike Jones in last.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did we do all the way out who won the tiebreaker between you and I? I don't think we did. I think it might have been me. I think because it still goes back to the seats.
I'm willing to believe that. Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, Megan, it was funny at one point, Megan got up to like go get me a beer and go get herself a new beer like after her turn. And as soon as she walked away, I think it was Mike Jones was like, well, so I think we're all playing for second.
Right.
Or something along those lines. Like, all right, well, Megan's clearly going to win now, so...
Before the scoring had taken place, like, she was dominating all of the different scoring areas. Like, she didn't score in every single one of the 10 different places, but she, like, won half of them, and that's just killer.
Yeah, so, really liked it. Again, this is only my second time playing it since that time back there. I still am not sure, though. It's a fairly medium weight Euro, just fairly simple worker placement. It's got some good variability, and I like the disc mechanism.
Yes.
But I don't know, and this is, I think, similar to like what you were saying, Zach, about how you felt about Gugong. I like some of what's going on there. I don't know if it's anything special enough that I really feel the need to own it myself.
I can totally see that. My biggest problem with the game was that the map of Europe that's on the board, man, Spain is just... like so twisted. Like Spain is elongated in a really strange way in order to get both Lisbon and Barcelona on the board. Like the map of Spain that's behind those icons it looks bad.
I honestly did not notice that.
Yeah.
So.
The rest of Europe looked fine. Like in fact they got some really nice, like the details of the coastline were really accurate, and then just Spain is super weirdly elongated east to west. But anyway.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I would definitely play it again. I'm not sure that it's going to be a staple, like you said, but
yeah. That's right. I'm really glad Mike Jones has a copy because I would like to play more. But I'm rapidly approaching. I donated like 4 games to the raffle, which is a big step for me because I was always once a game comes into this house, it never leaves.
Dun, dun, dun.
And instead, I've been like, no, fuck this, fuck this.
It's nice when you do that, right? Like I donated 10, I think, this year.
Yeah, I donated like 7 or 8. We, the new hotness on TV is the tidying up Marie Kondo.
Marie Kondo.
Yeah, and my wife and I did that this summer, and that was why, I donated about 10, 15 games to you. Like, let's get rid of half of my collection that I haven't played this stuff in. Yeah, I don't need Cards Against Humanity.
I was talking to Megan, I think, right now, last I looked, I was a little over 100 games. and I think I'm gonna do like 100 to 125. Like once I'm over 100, I'm gonna start actively working to like work back to 100. And if I ever hit 125, I'm gonna hard stop, and not get any more. Like it'll be a 1 in 1 out kind of a thing. Like I feel like I can start to cultivate a really cool collection. And some of those things I get torn. Like for instance, we've been on the fence. We were hemming and hawing about even something like Betrayal. Like I really like Betrayal. It's a great game.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I need to own it. Like I know enough other people who own it, and I don't like Megan and I are going to play it.
Yeah, you're going to do 2-player.
Yeah. I mean,
so I don't know. I'm trying to find a space for some of those that I do really like the game, but I'm not playing my copies of them ever.
Right. I mean, that led to some confusion at the anniversary party when like I own Terraforming Mars that I've only ever played solo mode, which I'm not a huge fan of solo mode. But like and so I thought I had brought it to game night, but then like, so I told some people, oh, this game of Terraforming Mars you're playing, it's mine, but I'm leaving, so give it to these other people. So I wasn't there to clear up the confusion around the fact that I hadn't actually brought it, because earlier I had decided, you know what? There are going to be a number of other copies, including copies that have expansions, and I don't have any of the expansions.
Right.
So like I hadn't brought it at all. And if I'm not going to bring my favorite game to the biggest gaming night of the entire year that we have, like, why do I own it?
Right.
Any person that I'm going to play it with, which is mostly like you guys and Wes and Paul and all that, also own it and probably have expansions for it. And
have dumped 3 times the value of the game into
Sounds
expansions
right,
and add-ons. Yeah. Way to get a cash cow going there, Stronghold.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, that's what we've been playing. Like that wraps that up. We can move on over into some news and Kickstarters, I think.
Sounds good.
Try and keep things going here without Jeff, which means that I'm in charge of the news and Kickstarters.
Oh, shit.
Bum, bum, bum. First up in news, the studio Next Move that produced Azul and Reef has announced their next game, Tuki. And this is a new design from, I'm going to butcher this name, Grzegorz Reichman, creator of polyomino puzzle series Ubungo. Players race to create specific shapes on the board using their pieces. That's Ubungo. And in Tuki, you're going to be building these pieces up in more of a 3D variety. So there's a die that you use to roll. It'll basically determine which way you face a card. So it has 4 different facings. And then you race to stack polyominoes to make whatever shape is showing on that board. They say there are 600 different inakushuk, which are a human-made monument formed by stacking stones on each other, commonly found in the Arctic Circle. Thank you for whoever wrote this article doing the heavy lifting of Googling that.
Yeah.
But so there's 600 different, basically, layouts of things you're going to be trying to build in this game. And 2 different difficulty levels, one for experts and one for newcomers. And they say it takes 30 to 45 minutes to play.
It sounds like a bullshit dexterity game. Why does it take 30 to 45 minutes?
I think the stacking's a little bit more in depth than that, but
Okay,
I'm not
it's not
sure.
just-
It's a really light new article. They don't have a lot of information. It's basically a picture and hey, Azul and Reef publisher is doing something else.
Azul is one of the most popular games of the last year, so yeah.
And I've
clearly
heard
they know what they're doing.
I've heard mixed things about Reef from different people. Some people I know love Reef. Some people I know are like,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Have either of you played it?
I've not.
No.
Okay.
I saw some people playing it on Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had somebody offer to send us Reef and or Kalis, and I had them send us Kalis.
That's probably a good decision.
I love Kalis.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's all for Tuki.
I'm sorry, how do you spell that?
Tuki.
Okay.
Tuki. I don't know.
Yeah.
If anybody speaks whatever language the Inuit speak, because I believe it's an Inuit word.
Okay.
And I don't know if the Inuit language is just Inuit.
It
might be.
I think it is an Inuit family of languages, but don't quote me on that.
It is hard baked into the audio now.
Damn it.
Quoting you.
Literally.
Yep.
Next up on news, Discover Lands Unknown is getting a cooperative update. It's basically a little free
rules update from the designer himself.
That you can download that'll switch it to a cooperative game. They There was also some people I saw playing Discover. It might have been at Hexacon last weekend. I don't think it was
Gotcha.
the anniversary. I don't know. I saw it getting played recently, and there was mixed thoughts on it from the people playing it.
I've heard mixed things. Like,
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of bad things, but I definitely know some of the worst ones were about the fact that it was semi-cooperative near the end.
Right.
And
In a
that-
bad way.
In a bad way. That was like, if you watch the review from Tom Bassel, he rails on it for a good 2 to 3 minutes. The fact that he was helping somebody succeed, because you're like, yeah, we're all together, we're stuck. And then that person succeeded. And it's like, all right, well, now you have to do it. And it's like, well, why the fuck did I help him if I have to do it too?
Yeah.
And so hopefully the rules make it a better cooperative experience.
Fully cooperative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still not sure about the game, but I'm hopefully that fixes some of the issues.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever played I know the Dead of Winter is semi-co-op.
Possible traders. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's a possible trader kind of semi-co-op.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I've ever played another kind of semi-co-op that at least that I've liked.
I played one that, I wouldn't necessarily call it semi-cooperative, more just it's competitive, but there can be multiple winners. New Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can be like, I don't care if you, I just want to make sure this person doesn't win. We can work together as far as we want. I don't care. You can be you need to beat me.
Yeah.
That's fine. As long as you help me beat Adrian or whatever, it's cool. But then that's sort of like cosmic encounter sort of thing too.
Sure.
Where you can have multiple winners and things like that too.
Yeah.
But no, most semi-co-ops that I've seen have been like possible traders or something like that.
Indeed. Those cooperative rules for Discover available now on Fantasy Flight's website. So
For free?
yes. So if you are interested in them, 520 kilobytes.
That's
Nice.
not bad at all.
Yeah.
Like small PDF.
One page.
You could fit that on a fucking floppy disk.
You could if you still had a fucking floppy disk.
And a disk in which to drive in which to
Yeah.
read it.
Next up on news, though, before we talk about floppies for 30 minutes. Root, new information on the second expansion. It is going to include a couple of different things. First up, 2 new factions. The Crows, who are espionage masters with a smaller board presence, and they score points by manipulating other people's hands of cards.
I'm 100% in.
Yeah,
on
that sounds like Zach, 100%. And then the Moles, an ancient kingdom ascending to the surface. Like cats, birds, and lizards, will be about putting large amounts of warriors on the map while controlling clearings. I think I'm curious, moles, I wonder if they have some ability to pop up way away from where things are.
Yeah, and pop up different than the Woodland Alliance popping up due to be like, aha, now we're in charge, and then just killing everybody.
Yeah. It's also going to include 2 new maps, a mountain pass map, battle for control of a couple of mountain passes, and a lakeside map where you're battling around a lake. It will include a new rule book that they say they want to keep the rules current as factions arrive. So they're just going to reprint the whole rule book with everything in it.
Oh,
in
cool.
one shot.
That's good.
really
That's always
nice.
good.
Yeah.
It's my Mansions of Madness, with all the expansions and shit I have. It's like, all right, I have the rule book, the rule reference, and then 4 or 5 different rule things for every time they add new shit.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, which one is this from again? Let me find it over here. So it's nice to be able to just be like, here's everything.
Yeah. Do you guys see that the Audubon Society had a press release about hey guys, you should be excited. One of the best games of the last year involved birds. That was a real thing that the Audubon Society, talking about Root.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a real thing the Audubon Society sent out.
Okay.
So what is the Audubon Society?
It's bird watching.
Okay. Because Audubon, I just think of the German
No,
highway.
I
yeah.
was thinking, car driving enthusiasts, and then I was like, wait, no, I bet it
Different
means
spelling.
bird
Oh, okay.
Audubon.
Yeah, different
Gotcha.
spelling. Audobon.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Last little bit of details before we move on for this Root expansion. They are pricing it at roughly $50, but they're still working on that. It'll also include Learn to Play for moles and crows, and some extra exciting add-ons and extras as things go along. So that's it for news. Short news section.
Mm-hmm.
We're moving through things. Jeff's not here to bog it down with all kinds of extraneous news. I'm just going to blame him for all of it.
Yeah.
Everything that we do in this show that isn't normal, like doing less news, I'm just going to blame on Jeff.
That's fine because he's not here to defend himself.
Right. And I'm here to chime in about the Audubon Society. So
There you
Exactly.
go. But that brings us over to Kickstarters. First up on Kickstarters, coming from Eagle Griffin Games, is The City by Tom Lehman in English for the first time ever. This is well-ish funded, $18,000 of its $10,000 goal, 477 backers, and about 2 weeks left when you are hearing this. The most popular pledge is going right now for $27, so also fairly affordable. This is a new and totally updated edition of The City, which is an older game from Tom Lehman, that apparently wasn't in English. It doesn't look like a card game that has a lot of language dependency, so maybe it was something people could play without direct translations. I don't know. It's going to be number 21 in the Griffin Bookshelf series, which is literally the first time I've heard of this series.
And you
it's
like
already
Eagle
at 21,
Griffin,
and I
right?
like Eagle Griffin, yeah, so I don't know what that's about.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of them in here that we've seen before because one of the rewards is the Master Builder, which is $400.
Mhm.
That's everything in the what would you call it?
Bookshelf.
Bookshelf series.
Yeah, Bookshelf series.
Like Roll Through the Ages, the Iron Age is in there for sale.
Oh, yeah, some of these are like smaller games.
Yeah. Ink and
Okay.
Gold.
It's more of a pamphlet than a book.
Yeah,
right, seriously.
Fleet, the dice game. Yeah, they're smaller styled games, but you've heard of at least a couple of them. I know that.
I have heard of a couple of them, which makes me wonder if this box is not nearly as big as I'm imagining it. Like,
Mhm.
Are you
full size game?
Are you I was gonna say, were you imagining like the Gallerist size?
No, I definitely could tell by the proportions it was not Gallerist size.
Mechs versus Minions.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Which should also make sense considering this game is 2 to 5 players and plays in about 30 minutes. So it's a fast playing card game.
And then it also only has 5 general contractor cards, 107 game cards, and then some markers, and that's about it.
So it's
probably
about
a fairly small
Hanabi,
box.
the Mind size box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this game, you take on the role of rival builders racing to develop a city by building all kinds of building, like city stuff, luxury homes, airports, malls, that kind of shit.
30 minutes. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Each round, you construct buildings, score victory points, and then receive income. Once any player has reached 50 or more points, the game ends, and whoever has the most at that point will be the overall winner. Fast-paced, simultaneous play, filler game is how they describe it here. So they've added a couple new cards with this new edition, the factory, two factory cards, and then 5 different cards. They don't mention which ones specifically have been tweaked for better balance. And they threw in a bunch of victory point chips to make scoring easier,
Which is always appreciative.
Yeah.
It's always annoying when they don't give you a thing to score besides just having to write shit down or on your phone or something like that.
I'm definitely interested in this for a few reasons. One, it's coming from Eagle Griffin, who I do like a lot of their games. Tom Lehman, the designer, also designed Race for the Galaxy, which is one of my favorite.
Roll for the Galaxy, Roll Through the Age. He's done a decent amount of things. Yeah.
And I'm always down for a quick filler card game like that. Like I love Race for the Galaxy for something I can play in 20 to 30 minutes. So something else that might be a little bit different to kind of fill that same niche, but add some variety to my options. Is something I'd be down for.
And you get the expansion free as a Kickstarter backer.
Yep.
So
33 card expansion. So
you can get yourself an upscale bar with that.
yes.
Is it a rooftop?
I don't know. I don't see a picture, but it expands it to 6 players.
Well, there we go. But yeah, so $27 if you want to get in on The City. Go check that out over on Kickstarter. Next up in Kickstarter is Tangled Timelines. Well funded, 11,000 of its 1,000 goal, 700 backers, and a little over a week left on this one. You can back it for 1 pledge level, $13. V, you wanted us to cover more affordable Kickstarters. Here it is.
I don't know if I can deal with that.
I know. It is also, this is being brought to us.
Too affordable.
Yeah. This is being brought to us by Daniel Zayas, who works for Long Pack Games, fairly prolific on board game Twitter and in the board game industry. He just moved to Denver.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, fairly recently, and has been complaining about the snow a lot. Which
I saw that. Yeah,
I given him some shit about like you should have moved to Denver a long time ago because we've gotten more snow since you moved here than we had in the year past. So
you gonna start coming to game night?
I don't know. I keep pushing him to. Be a great chance to demo his game that's on Kickstarter.
Right,
Daniel. Jeez.
Get 5 new backers immediately.
So Tangled Timelines is the first in the new Matchbox series of games coming from Daniel Zayas Games, his new game company. They're going to be basically like the Matchbox series is part of the shtick is that the boxes are like a big Matchbox that hold all the games. But so in Tangled Timelines, you are going to essentially be leading rescue missions across time and space to save heroes that have been cast out throughout the universe, I guess.
And you can fit all of that in a Matchbox?
Apparently, the whole universe condensed right into a Matchbox.
That
you know,
caused
like
a
in
black
Men in
hole.
Black, when an entire fucking galaxy
Yeah.
fit around a dog's neck and didn't cause a black hole?
Cat.
You're right.
Get it right, man. Get
Yeah.
it right.
You're right. One of the aliens was a dog.
Yes.
Yeah. So to play this game, you're going to get a selection of heroes, and then you're going to determine who goes first. And in the initiative order, players rescue matching heroes while sacrificing their played hero into the Tangled Timelines. And you're matching like different symbols on the cards. Remaining heroes are lost to the dimensional abyss face down, and you keep playing until you go through the whole deck. You then score hero chains and completed timelines, and then you play multiple games until you get to whatever point threshold you set for your time playing. So kind of like in Herbalism, where you play to like 10 points, that might be like 3 or 4 games that might take, I don't know, like 4 fucking hours if you're at a really weird game night.
And migraines
which is all 3
and
of
all.
us.
Yes.
But you
And
pick
Brett
how
had it.
long you want to play and score points for each round. And yeah.
Set
that's
collection
Tangled
sort of
Timeline.
stuff. Yeah.
Bunch of cool art in this one. I actually really like the art style.
Mhm. I like the you can get as an add-on custom printed sleeves that have a nice background to it.
Ooh.
I also like that this includes 52 unique promo cards that he used different people from the board game industry, including friend of the show, Katie, from Katie's Game Corner.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's got a custom character on here. The Game Trays guy, Noah, he's got a custom one. A whole bunch of different people.
Nice.
Yeah. So
not just like the designers of,
I mean, it's
the
basically the
media
designer's
people.
friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Media people that are his friends.
That's awesome.
Which is not us.
Yeah. We're not
You
friends
should-
with anybody.
You should
No.
work on that.
Yeah. Well, he lives in Denver now, so maybe.
Yeah. You know how to
well,
make
we
friends
just-
with them? Stalk him.
That's how I have made all my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you only knew how long I'd stalked you guys before I ever met
I mean,
you.
I would like to know how long. For no reasons, and I'll just be. I'm glad this is recorded. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Police officer, it's this man right here.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Tangled Timelines. Go check that out. Next up on Kickstarters is Vindication.
Vindication.
Thanks, Captain.
Yep. That's still my favorite GIF
Yeah.
of because I've seen a lot that are just him just saying it,
Right.
But then they actually did the word plays right, and then when he's vindication,
Yeah.
like fire comes out in the background and starts shaking. It's
Yeah, you've been using it in Slack a lot lately.
it's a great response.
Yep.
Anyway, Vindication, the board game on Kickstarter. Also well-funded, as everything is so far this episode. $281,000 of its $29,000 goal. Over 4,000 backers, and just under 2 weeks to go when you are listening to this. You can pledge for the most common pledge level, $99.
Ooh,
The
does that
green
count?
tier everything.
Does that count as our 100-game
I would-
miniature
I
game?
would-
$100 game?
If it was miniatures, I would say yes, but it's not really a miniature game.
It has
It has some miniatures,
but it's not a
in it.
miniature game. No.
Yeah, so
That's a very fine line you've got right there.
yeah, keeping it narrow. So this is a fantasy tabletop board game for 2 to 5 players that takes 15 to 30 minutes per player. Key game descriptors, which they lovingly wrote, key game descriptors, and then put a bunch of these in italics for us, which helps me out.
Yeah.
Because it lets me explain it by saying high strategy,
Ooh.
tableau building,
Oh God.
resource management,
Oh yes, please.
area control,
Oh my God.
action selection,
I'll select that action.
modular board,
Let's get modular.
and variable player powers.
Who wants variety in a game?
So the backstory of this is you're apparently thrown overboard after being a wretched hive of scum and villainy, and left to die in the ocean. Just before everything fades to black, you wash up on a hostile island, and are revived by a traveler. and you have to go redeem yourself and seek vindication. I don't know. No?
So it sounds like it could be just like a Jacob's Ladder situation.
But it's getting a lot of good reviews, at least here on the Kickstarter, from like Tom Vassell over at Dice Tower, Rado, a couple other known,
Notable
people who pump up Kickstarters, like Man vs. Meeple, where how much they like the game is directly related to how much you pay them to like the game.
Ooh, burn!
It's a hot take right there.
All of the pledges for this, and you can pledge as low as $29 for the expansion if you just want the expansion.
Because I think they released the base game before.
Okay.
So,
but all of the pledges include the free Boulder Hulk promotional mini. So there are some minis, even if it's not a mini game.
That is a Hulk made out of boulders.
yes. Yeah, not rocks, but boulders.
Yes. What I really want is an italicized Hulk.
I mean, is he just leaning to the right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
So throughout gameplay, they've got a bunch of companion
That's why
cards.
the leaning tower of Pisa is because it's italicized.
Yes. It's in Italy.
Yeah.
I know, I get the joke.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Moving on. Throughout the game, you can get companions, relics, traits, fight monsters, gain exotic pets that are somehow, not a companion. And then
We know what
eventually trigger the
strategy-
end game.
We know what strategy Zach's going for.
Yes.
Pets.
Always pets.
You move around on the triangular spaces between regions, and then can move into adjacent regions, trying to gain control of them because there's an area control, and that's where what you do in the game runs out. So I don't know where you go from there, but that's it.
I gotta say, I didn't say this at the end of that long list of mechanisms, but that was a long list of mechanisms.
Oh, it gets better. They have a whole section here. It's difficult to judge a game you've never played, and comparisons to other games are generally misleading because everyone has a unique combination of gaming motivations. These categories loosely reflect the feedback we've gathered from gamers of all types who have played Vindication. Strategy, significant. Replayability, limitless. Story, your own. Aesthetics, breathtaking. Discovery, rampant.
Rampant discovery?
This goes on and on.
Yeah.
Achievement, journey-based.
They've got fluid power, gentle competition, relaxed action, and trivial community.
Trivial? What does that even mean?
Don't know.
Cooperation and working together are trivial, so it's not a cooperative game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luck, minimal. Things happen by chance, not decisions.
Luck.
Which is like what they're describing luck, and then minimal. So they all had like a
yeah.
category and then a brief description of that category and then the like word that went with it.
They need better copywriters. I don't know about the game. They need better copywriters.
Yeah. Game itself looks, I don't know, kind of interesting. I'm not a huge fan of the layout of the board.
Well,
It looks busy as shit.
One sort of interesting thing is that the board has, various hexes, but you step in between the hexes, and what you do is based on what hex is near you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and as you explore the board, that's when the hexes come out to do things.
Okay.
So
Some of their components are pretty sweet, though. Like distressed metal player medallions. So your little like player piece, instead of being like a cardboard standee, is like a piece of metal that like fits in a clip.
Nice.
And you move it around.
mhm.
Um,
That's all the stretch goal stuff.
yeah. So,
There's a lot of stretch goal things.
but yeah, Vindication on Kickstarter now. Go check it out.
Game trays, like
Ooh.
everything.
Yeah. So hot right now.
Yes.
That wraps up Kickstarters. There are no more Kickstarters, at least right now, that we're going to cover. So we're done with that. Which brings us over to listener feedback, of which we have one thing. A lone comment over in Paulo's corner, dusty and full of cobwebs.
Is it Paulo?
It is Paulo.
Oh, good.
From episode 127, Berating the Children, Paulo says, from the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, I really, really liked the first short movie. The other ones weren't nearly as good as that one. Frowny face.
Did you see that at all?
Nope.
It's Jeff and I really liked it. A lot of other people have really liked it. Adrian.
I
I
heard
thought the
episode.
vignettes were hit or miss.
Yeah. I got to say, if you ask me if I have seen a movie and
It's
it
on-
has been released in
it's
the
on-
last 6 months.
It's on Netflix.
Right.
So
I did see the new Fire Festival movie on
Okay.
Netflix. That was really good.
Yeah.
Hulu
but
also has a Fire Festival.
not as good,
documentary.
I think, but at least from the reviews I've read. But
Yeah.
I really like the Netflix one.
I like that we're back to that time frame, like
Yeah.
back in the day when it was like Dante's Peak and Volcano.
Well, I've
or
heard,
like two
yeah.
different versions of Alexander movies.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. Now we're, getting the same documentary on two different streaming platforms.
Well, I heard that the Hulu one actually talks a little shit about Netflix because they had like a little bit in with the Fire Festival or something like that.
Right. Well, the main guy that they're like both movies are criticizing got interviewed by the Hulu one and not by the Netflix one. So I think that's part
Gotcha.
of-
Gotcha. But that wraps up listener feedback. That's all there is. There's no emails.
Well,
Even if Jeff was here.
You know what? How about let's let Adrian or let's let Andrew say it.
There are no emails at milehighgameguys.com. Yeah, that was too many ats. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's try that again.
You don't have the practice.
No, I know. It's sad. But we did not receive any new messages at emails at milehighgameguys.com.
There you go.
There we go.
All right.
You got it.
Respectable.
If you would like to get a hold of us, you can send us emails.
At emails at milehighgameguys.com. And when you do, don't be nice to them.
Or, be nice to Jeff since he's hurt.
You will, yeah.
Or be mean to him because, he hurt himself doing
Yeah.
a recreational sport like
Who
a
does
chump.
that?
Yeah.
The rest of us just sit around playing board games.
Yeah.
You don't injure yourself, except maybe my
Yeah, but
strain.
all 6 of our legs are unbroken.
Yeah.
So.
I've been snowboarding for years and didn't break a leg. So clearly Jeff's doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to do theater and he just did it really wrong.
Broke the wrong leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also follow us over on Twitter. I tweet under at MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG and Jeff is Jeff_MHGG.
Yes, so you can still go give him, attention over there. Facebook.com/MileHighGameGuys. Board Game Geek Guild number 2731, where there are episode posts where you can leave feedback on the episodes. Like when you listen to Friday's episode, where we review Pandemic Fall of Rome, after you hear us talk about it, especially since it was a short notice episode, and then you might not have got to chime in beforehand, listen to it, get our thoughts, and then hit us back with your thoughts over in the thread on that Board Game Geek Guild. That wraps all of that up. As always, thanks to our sponsors on these Wednesday episodes, Gray Fox Games. Their new partnership with King Raccoon Games is going to be bringing Tsukiyumi Full Moon Down here to gaming stores everywhere very shortly, which we covered this back when it was on Kickstarter several months ago. But in case you forgot, this is a game that takes place in the future where the moon has been approaching the Earth, exact opposite of what it's actually doing, eventually touched the surface and ripped open a deep rift across the ground, and then it came to a halt in the Pacific Ocean. So it didn't super collide. It was a very slow and gradual, just touching of the tips.
It would get ripped apart itself before it touched the earth.
Yes. Physics are not important to anime.
Right. Yeah.
So ultimately, the moon revealed itself to be a kami, and a bunch of Japanese warriors and things all kind of came together, and there's a whole bunch of fighting and things in this post-apocalyptic world. And so in this, it's a no-luck board game for 3 to 5 (6 players. I don't know why the 6 is in a parenthesis.
Might be an expansion or something.
Yeah.
One player gets to be the moon.
Ooh.
But everybody takes on the role of a different asymmetric faction, fighting around the board and trying to take control. Yeah, more information on that as it comes. I believe, from what Alex was saying, they're going to do a mini Kickstarter campaign in March for
Nice.
this. So a little over a month left until that's up.
I gotta
for
say,
a quick campaign.
if you actually are going to be able to fight the moon, I don't care about physics at that point. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Let me fight the moon. The moon is going down,
Curse
baby.
you, moon. But yeah, so that's Tsukiyumi Full Moon Down from our sponsors, Gray Fox Games. Andrew, do you happen to? You're filling in for Jeff?
Yeah,
do you have?
I was going to say Gray Fox Games, quality games, cleverly crafted. I remembered it entirely from Jeff saying it so well all of those times. but I don't have any sort of video game reference for you.
I do. If you want me to say it first, and then you can do yours.
No, do yours. Do yours.
All right,
please, sir.
What's with these guys? It's just like one of my Japanese animes. This is from Metal Gear. So
nice. I was going to go with the random factoid that the actual gray fox, the Latin name for it is Rosion Cinerio Argentius. Excuse me. Boy, that was bad. Let me try that again. Rosion Cinerio Argentus. The Cinerio Argentus means ashen silver. So it's not quite gray. It is ashen silver.
But gray is easier to say than hey, look at that ashen silver fox go by.
Yeah, I don't think you have enough verb for life, sir.
Yeah.
I want all of my foxes to be ashen silver.
You're not wrong.
That brings it all to a close. We've made it through a whole episode without Jeff. He's officially deemed replaceable.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, Andrew, thank you so much for filling in.
Certainly.
Especially on such short notice. Thank you, listeners, for your support. And yeah, be sure to hit Jeff up through Slack or Facebook or Twitter or wherever.
Get well soon.
Yeah, it's going to be a long road to recovery for him. He busted his leg up pretty good.
Yeah,
Get well long.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks everybody for listening in. Be sure to check out that Friday review episode of Fall of Rome. It should be a good one. We'll be having Andrew here in the studio again for that.
I'm excited.
And yeah, then we'll be back next week with another Wednesday episode and a review. We're tentatively looking at Container since Jeff hasn't played that one at all, and Zach and I have. We'll just skirt around him again for next week because I don't know if he'll be ready to be back in a week.
I figure we'd give him 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then we'll have him back hopefully in studio for the following week, which will be back to top 10 episode.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing a top 10 of something.
Top 10 ways not to break your leg.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Jeff, I don't know. He's
not very good at this one.
At this point, he knows one really good way to not break your leg.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Really appreciate it. As always, I have been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm Andrew, Forbidden Palace, the hater, Kaiser. That was awful.
Practice will make perfect.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll do better next time.
No, I don't think so.
Bye.
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 No Bloody Minute because there is no Jeff and none of the rest of us play Blood Bowl and care about Blood Bowl here. So without Jeff, there is no Blood Bowl.
Sorry, Aunt.
Yeah.
You can just skip this whole podcast.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I might still do Bloody Minute again for just like it'll just be like 20 seconds, but just enough for him to click on it. Like we got him last time. That was great.
That was great.
Well, we've now been talking about it for about that long.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Yep.
Make note.
Punchboard Media, where we all
bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.